Good morning. This is going to be my air signs video. This will be my final video for the week. And next week there will not be any videos. I've got a lot going on with my business, um, with festivals and stuff coming up, so I can't get this to stay lit. I did petition my patron saint, my goddess, Santa Marta La Dominadora, to help me with this reading today, to help me give the possible, best possible, most clarified reading for my YouTube friends that are air signs. Sorry, I'm just a little scared. I've had so much going on. Y'all just do not realize how much I've had going on. I've got stuff piled up everywhere, boxes and stuff, because when I do a festival, everything of mine pretty much is handmade, so it requires a lot of making stuff. I'm being guided to use this duck here. So I've just had a whole lot going on. It's the reason why I really can't do too many readings this week, but I did want to at least offer, the 4 elements. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the 6 tarot cards, and then I'm going to pull clarifiers as I go. Wow. All those came out, and we're going to take all of them. I am a little tired, so I'm going to rely a little bit on my clarifiers today. I hope you guys don't mind. And I do not read reversals. My decks and my guides know that. Every now and then I'm guided to read a reversal, but not today. Just saying. All right. Well, my dogs are being a little loud. All right, we have the Mother Creativity Wind card. And which is a synchronicity because this is the air signs reading. So I feel like with this Mother Creativity, this wind card, this kind of goes along with that energy, the energy that you bring to the reading as air signs. And so basically, I feel like with the air signs, I was thinking about this yesterday as I was washing clothes, about the different qualities that the different signs associated with the different elements have. With air, it feels more like it's more action. It's more free-flowing energy. It's not stagnant. So this is more of a go-with-the-flow type of energy. Think wanderer, think gypsy. That's the energy that I get, when I think air signs. And so those qualities are actually your greatest assets because you don't stagnate, because you do, like I said, it is that going with the flow, because we have that your desire is within reach. Have faith, everything is working out in your favor. Because I'm sensing that you are feeling a little bit discouraged right now because you're not seeing the results of what it is that you're trying to manifest right now. And the message that's coming through is that everything is happening right now just like it's supposed to. So do start telling yourself everything is as it should be. Because when you start judging things, you start adding meaning to them. Because the way that we experience life and we experience this 3D reality that we are experiencing is by what we believe to be true. And these beliefs come from our level of consciousness, one, our conditioning that we have taken on ever since we incarnated into the physical form that we're in, and all of the belief systems and thoughts around that we've taken on from our family. And this has been a big theme right now as far as clearing those ancestral patterns. And so basically what I am feeling like is that your own judgment of situations and people, and this is not the kind of judgment where somebody makes a mistake and you judge them for it. Not that kind of judgment. The kind of judgment I'm talking about is adding meaning to things. Because when we add meaning to things, we're creating stories and we're creating scenarios that would ordinarily not have that meaning. Like, for example, let's say, you're talking to somebody or you're involved romantically with somebody and they ghost you for a week or 2 weeks. And you tell yourself, oh, well, they must have somebody else. They're just not interested. Or maybe you tell yourself, oh, they're just, they're scared of me. They're scared of their feelings. They're scared of what they feel for me. Well, anytime you tell yourself a story like that, you limit the situation to just what you told yourself. So then it becomes that. That is what it is. So whereas, maybe this person, maybe they've just been real busy. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. But we are taught that if somebody cares about us, that they have to meet our conditions. And if they do not meet our conditions, then we tell ourselves things. We tell ourselves, we're not worthy. They don't care about us. How could they possibly care about us? They probably have somebody better. I went through that where I thought, I wasn't good enough, and I tried to change myself in all kinds of ways, and it wasn't even that. It just snowballed. It started with a story that I told myself, and then another story, and I believed those stories. And then I started believing that I wasn't good enough, so then I started trying to change myself. And, where's the self-love and acceptance in that? So basically, you're a major block to this because, remember, you are creating. You're creating by what you believe to be true. Because we are connected to that source energy, to that power. Because God is this source energy. Think of a big ball of energy. A big ball. This big mass. Because we're energy. If you... spirituality is not to be confused with religion, but I've studied enough religions to know that there's like a thread, a grain of spiritual truths and laws in each religion. It got distorted by the human ego mind. We were created in God's image. Okay, so we're energy. We're nothing more than energy, and each and every one of us has enough energy to run an entire city for like a whole year. So it remains to be true that if we're energy, then also God, who is our source of power, is also energy. But I tend to see him more as like this power source. That, and you see how that we have that third eye. That's an extra sense. Okay, so do really try to connect to that source energy. Sorry, my neighbors, man. I didn't get up nearly early enough before they started that racket across the street, and they really messed up my videos. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to have to talk over them. And we have the Six of Earth, success. So not only do we have this faith card that everything's working out just as it should be, we also have the success card, of which I'm going to pull a clarifier for that. Very noisy around here this morning. Dogs, noisy neighbors. My air conditioning's running. My apologies. I've been a little irritated today too. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm going to see if I can get out in nature today and see if I can get to feeling a little better. Astrid, love, fire, sensuality, and fertility. So you are this fertility. With this fertility is where the success is coming from. But in order for something to be fertile, it has to be planted in good soil, and that soil has to be rich with lots of nutrients and minerals and plenty of water and sunlight in order for you to grow what you need to grow. Now, this is symbolism, of course, but where do you get those things? You know, and think alchemy. Okay, alchemy is nothing more than transmuting and balancing your energy. Balancing out your fears, because the only thing standing in between you and what you want are your fears. And so you have to face these fears and get to the other side of them in order to get to what you want. And these fears are, for one thing, fears that what it is that you're trying to manifest is not going to manifest because you're too emotionally attached to it. Emotional attachment is a major block to the law of attraction, because you're trying to manifest from a place of desperation, out of fears of loss, fears of rejection, fears of abandonment, fears that the shit is going to go downhill, go south like everything else does. This card here is about love, fire, and sensuality. Now, love is the opposite of fear. I mean, fear is over here, love is over here, and there's no love and no fear in love whatsoever. A lot of times people think that, you know, this passion, this, oh, I can't live without you, I've got to have you, I want you to desire me, I want you to be scared you're going to lose me, be jealous that someone else wants me, the games that people play. And people feel like that is love. That is not love. That's fear-based. When you instill fear of loss in someone else to keep them, or they do that to you, that is not love. That is fear-based. That is codependency. And so a lot of what people think is passion is not truly love. Pure love is more tender and accepting, and there are no fears. You're not scared you're going to lose that person. You're not holding on to them for dear life. You give each other freedom. You know, if you guys need time and space away from one another for a while, then you're not scared to do that. True love, like love, and I say true love because there's only one love. There's not false love. True love, there's only fear and love. True love is kind of boring. It's not nearly the fireworks and the electricity and the passion that people expect. And so that is why when you do experience love on a soul level, a lot of times people will reject it, or they don't recognize it because of our fears and because of our conditioning as human beings. We don't recognize love when it's staring us in the face. And so that message has came through also. We have the Mother Mary sacrifice card. And I'm going to pull a clarifier for this card. It's a chakra card. I'm not the best with chakras, so hold on just a second. Alright, we have the crown chakra. So we have the Mother Mary sacrifice, and we have the crown chakra, of which I am going to do one more clarifier. I'm going to clarify the seventh chakra. So your seventh chakra does need work, and I have said this before, I'm not the best at chakras. Right. Love and compassion. So basically what I'm getting with this Mother Mary and this love compassion is that whole feeling like you have to, and one thing that I'm getting is that you are trying to think your way through this. There's a lot of thinking and logic going on and overthinking and trying to figure things out when you should be coming from your heart space. See, there's two hearts here. Your intuition is in your heart. And so basically the message that I'm getting is that listen to your intuition, like I said, which is your feelings, and let them guide you. A lot of times we feel like if we close off our heart, we won't have to worry about getting hurt anymore, kind of getting hard, getting cold, just because of all of the pain and the disappointment. And I have said this before, but pain changes people. And I know it's changed me, and I'm really working myself too of not feeling like I'm cold. I said something yesterday to someone where I almost feel like the spiritual journey that I have been on, I almost feel like Sarah Connor at the end when she's riding off on that Jeep. She is no longer the same person she was at the beginning. I mean, she's like a soldier now. She's like a renegade. I almost feel like that. But try not to let everything that's happened change you, and still stay the same loving, caring person that you've always been, and still have this compassion for other people. But most of all, have this compassion for yourself, this self-acceptance, accepting everything about yourself. And when you stop rejecting yourself, you will stop being rejected by others, because when you're in that mode of self-rejection, you send out that signal into the universe, and that is what you align to. And so I feel like rejection is your core wound, and I have talked about this before. Your core wound will be something that you have experienced as a child, something that's happened, and this will follow you around because all lessons will be repeated until learned. But basically the energy that I'm getting with this crown chakra is that you are basically trying to think your way through it. And it's also putting up guards. There's a lot of putting up guards here, and more like mental blocks. Feeling like if you can maybe shut yourself off from people or be and kind of isolate yourself, you can protect your heart. You're trying to protect your heart with your thoughts and with the mental guards, the mental blocks that you're putting up right now. And basically, your feelings actually start in your mind. And the reason why your feelings start in your mind is because your feelings start with a thought. And you have that thought, and you believe that thought. And just like I said that you're creating stories, you know, something happens and you try to figure it out and you kind of judge it and you add meaning to it, and then you have feelings around it, that whole, well, this person ghosted me because they have somebody else, or they're rejecting me or whatever, just like everybody else does. Well, now you've got feelings that you yourself have created as a result. So your thoughts and your feelings are very, very connected. If you can work on being mindful of your thoughts right now, you can manage your feelings. Now, when your feelings do come up, do honor them, but don't assign blame, because you yourself created those feelings. Nobody else can make you feel any kind of way. We have the Ace Manifestation, Earth. I'm going to pull one of these cards. Sorry, I've got stuff packed up. I don't have everything I need. It's just a mess in here. All right, we have the Moon card. And so this is that whole illusions thing, that there are things going on behind the scenes that you cannot see. And the message that's coming through is that you need to read between the lines. And when you read between the lines, Do so from your heart space. Start trying to feel things instead of thinking them. So as something comes up, ask yourself, how do you feel about this? Don't create a story around it. Ask yourself how you feel. And let your feelings guide you. And your feelings will let you know one way or another what your next move is. You know, ask yourself, how do you feel about this? Because it's almost like two choices are being presented here. Because the moon is basically like your shadow side. It's the other side, you know. It's like the dark side of the yin and the yang, the feminine energy. Because the yin and the yang is the masculine and the feminine energy. So whenever I think of yin and yang, I always think about the sun and the moon and about how they fit together. And so it's that energy that I'm getting here. And also I'm getting that you need to work on. I know the feminine energy is something that has been we've been working on over like the past couple weeks as a collective consciousness, really getting in touch with feelings and not rejecting those feelings, because that's a lot of the message that I'm getting here, is that you're basically, it's like you're scared of emotional triggers. You're scared of those. This is where your fear starts here, right here. And so you're telling yourself, okay, if I can avoid these, it's like you're trying to logically figure things out. If I can avoid these emotional triggers, then I can protect my heart. When the message that's coming through, in order to manifest what you want, you have to feel your way through it, because this is not a thinking journey. And so this involves getting in touch with your feminine power, your feminine intuition, your feelings, and really feeling them and not blocking yourself off from them. And your emotional triggers are here to serve you. And you know what? I said before that all lessons will be repeated until they're learned. It's kind of that energy. So you keep avoiding these things, they will eventually find you. You can't get away from them. We have the Great Void. Now, see, I've been talking about the Etch-a-Sketch a lot lately, and when you manifest, because, you know, we have this Mother Creativity, and then we have this Ace Manifestation card, and now we have this Great Void, and so I feel like these three cards all go together. Think about creativity. You know, I said we are all connected to that God source power, that creative energy that we're all co-creators with. Think of it as an Etch-a-Sketch, like a blank slate. You know, this great void. A void is like this blank slate, or like it's this place of not knowing. Because the other message that's coming through is that you're just trying to know everything. And trying to know everything is a big block for you, because that is control. And you don't have to know everything. Have faith that everything is working in your favor. And faith involves not knowing everything, but trusting and believing that everything's fine. So think about this Etch-a-Sketch, okay, and it's blank. And, you know, you can create whatever kind of story that you want. So you create your story. And sometimes, you know, our insecurities, our doubts, and our fears get in the way, and we might, you know, kind of stray from the story or add to it, or, you know, be like, oh, well, this is not going to happen because shit just never works out for me. You know, that whole victim mentality. Somebody is going to mess it up, or, you know, people are always out to get me, or whatever type of negative story you tell yourself. Shake that Etch-a-Sketch. Shake it. Be like, that's not true. Shake it. And anyone who uses an Etch-a-Sketch knows that when you shake it, it goes back to being blank again and create a new story. And where this great void comes in at is you don't need to know all the details of how it's going to happen. I know so many times I need money. And so I'm like, okay, I'm out here trying to get money. And I'm like, okay, I can get this much here and get that much there. You know, and my spirit guides will always be like, okay, is that the only way you want this to happen? You know, what if, you know, you're just riding along and you see a bunch of people and you stop, you pull over, and, you know, you're like, hey, you know, I got this stuff. Do y'all want to buy it? And they buy it all. Now, see, by me telling myself all the details of how I saw it happening, I've limited it to just that story. That's the reason why this great void, and this is called the great void of the unknown, is magical. There's magic in the unknown. When you stay in this magic void of the unknown, the universe can work things out better than you can even imagine, because, all we have is this limited human thinking, and the universe is like abundant and magical, and anything is possible. So you don't need to know everything, because when you try to control everything, these assholes, when you try to control everything, you limit it. Sacred Law, Crow Woman. So I am feeling like this is that law of attraction that we've been working with. And the law of attraction is working whether or not you know it or not. Think about all the times that you've attracted shitty things in your life. And I have been talking about this a lot lately. When you are in that victim mentality, like, shit is just not fair, things are unjust, nobody treats me fairly, things are not going to work out, I get discriminated against because of this, that, or whatever else, guess what's going to happen? So clear that victim mentality. Clear it. There's been a lot of talk, about, certain groups of people that seem to have more privilege than others. And that is nothing more than people believing that, okay, you take, for example, you got two groups of people. One that feels like, things are just shitty, everything's just gonna, just not work out, they're in that victim mentality and they keep getting more and more and more of that. Then you have another group of people who've never experienced that, so they don't have that victim mentality. So they walk and talk and act like, the world is a just place, everything's fair, everybody's gonna treat me right, and guess what happens? So then it looks like that's what it looks like, because the 3D physical world is all about illusions that we create. We are creating these illusions as we go, and then we believe them. My divine partner used to say to me all the time, he used to say, it's your world, Tracy, and we're all just living in it. And I used to offend the shit out of me. I used to be so offended. Because my mom used to tell me when I was a kid, all you care about is yourself, Tracy. You're self-centered. And I never saw either. And it almost was like the same energy coming from both of them. And I never saw that, because I was like, you know what? I'm selfless. I'm always giving to others. I put other people ahead of myself. I'm just a long-suffering martyr. So I didn't see that. But then, once I started, kind of moving along on this journey, I was like, fuck it, it is my world. It's everybody's world. Everybody's world, and we're all just living in it, because we're all experiencing reality within this thing called the Matrix. And everybody else are just players in our reality, and start looking at it that way. And stop blaming everybody for the things that you create with your energy. And the other thing is, they're soul family, and they're here to help you, and everyone's got their part to play. We have the expectation card. And when I get this card, I see it different ways. I mean, this could be, somebody's actually having a baby. Somebody who's watching this, if you think you're pregnant, this is your confirmation that you're fertile, because we also have this fertile card here. So, in the physical realm, if you're trying to have a child, the conditions are very, very good for that right now. And the other thing with the expectations are, when we have heavy expectations of others, we're going to always be disappointed. Expectations equal disappointment. Always. So release how you think this should look. Release how you expect it to come to you, because this is limiting. Stay in that great void of the unknown and have that faith that everything is working out in your favor. And that is how you work with the law of attraction, and that is how you attract more good things in your life. I am going to draw one more card of this deck here, The Universe Has Your Back, and then I'm going to pull one of my postcard oracle cards. Through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. All we can do is focus on ourselves. Stop worrying about what other people are doing and really be self-focused right now. We are taught that self-focus is selfish. We're taught that we're supposed to be, that long-suffering martyr. We're supposed to put everybody and everything ahead of ourselves, and that is just simply not true. Now, this is not that it's a doggy dog world, look out for yourself type energy. No, this is called nurturing yourself, meditating, becoming the best, most highest vibrational being that you can become. And in doing so, you will align to the highest possible timeline where you will attract many good things in your life. And stop worrying about other people, because that is codependent behavior. And I have talked before about what is love and what isn't love. And start with yourself first. I'm going to pull a postcard oracle card. Y'all can tell I'm just about tapped out energetically. I'm like wiped out. It's going to be a very long weekend. I really am going to need to recharge next week. I am wore out. Dearest you, you have a unique purpose and destination that only you can fulfill. But first you need to know that destiny isn't a destination. You don't arrive at some special place where poof, you're perfect and happy all the time. It's about establishing and firming up a commitment to a certain experience, whatever form that takes. Your soul knows what you need to experience. Your destiny is to be present to all of life's adventures, to discover your talents and full potential through allowing inspiration to lead you, and to risk standing apart from the crowd to listen to your soul. You're special as much as you are also paradoxically one with the world, individual yet part of a great whole. Both truths have led you to this moment where we are saying you are on the right track, even if your ego self doesn't see that. Listen to your soul, check in with spirit, keep going. Spirit loves you, life loves you, we love you. So, like I said, things may not look like they're progressing right now, but they are. There's so much going on behind the scenes, and you are universally supported and guided. Believe that and have faith in that. Trust and believe that everything is happening for your highest good. So when something is happening, regardless of what that is, tell yourself everything is perfect right now as it is. Everything is as it should be. And that is the magical energy to manifest what you want. Thank you for watching.